You know that feeling when your body is sitting still but your mind is running miles ahead. When even in silence, you're juggling 1,000 invisible tabs in your head, remembering what needs to be done, what could go wrong, and who might need you next. That's not just stress. That's the mental load. It's the unseen labor that lives inside your mind. The planning, anticipating, organizing. The invisible weight of keeping life together. You might not be physically moving, but your brain is carrying a backpack full of open tasks, appointments, groceries, emails, feelings, and it never gets to set that bag down. Psychologists define the mental load as the cognitive effort required to manage the demands of daily life. It's not the work you do, it's the thinking about it. And that's what makes it so exhausting. You can finish a full day at work, come home, and still feel like you've achieved nothing. Because your brain has been sprinting through unfinished loops all day. Did I reply to that message? Did I forget something important? What if tomorrow gets even worse? Every thought demands energy, and the brain burns that energy fast. It makes up only 2% of your body weight, but it consumes 20% of your fuel. When it's overloaded, even small tasks start to feel impossible. The danger of the mental load is that it's invisible. No one sees it. Not your co-workers, not your family, sometimes not even you. You might look calm on the outside while your mind is quietly screaming. And for many people, that's the hardest part. The silence. Because you can't point to your exhaustion. You can't show it like a broken bone. You just feel it. In your shoulders, in your sleep, in your smile. The mental load is the modern burnout before burnout. It's not a sudden collapse. It's a slow leak. The quiet draining of your mental battery, one small thought at a time. And the truth is, we've normalized it. We call it being responsible, being reliable, being on top of things. But what if the reason we're so tired isn't that we're weak? It's that we've been carrying too much for too long, without ever being allowed to put it down. The human brain is powerful, but it was never designed to multitask the way modern life demands. Every unfinished task, every pending message, every mental note you keep open, all of it occupies a small piece of your working memory. And working memory is limited. Imagine your mind as a desk. When it's clear, ideas flow easily. You can focus, prioritize, create. But when the desk is buried under piles of unfinished business, even the simplest job feels overwhelming. That's the mental load, not the work itself, but the clutter it creates inside your head. Cognitive scientists call this the Zeigarnik effect, the brain's tendency to hold on to unfinished tasks. It's a survival mechanism. The mind wants closure, so it keeps those tasks active, even when you're resting. That's why it's hard to relax, because your brain is still trying to solve what hasn't been completed yet. Over time, this mental residue builds up like static. You start forgetting things, losing focus, reacting emotionally. Not because you're disorganized, but because your neural system is overloaded. The stress response adds another layer. When your mind senses too many open loops, your body interprets it as threat. Cortisol levels rise, heart rate increases, sleep becomes shallow. The brain's amygdala, the emotional alarm center, starts firing more often, keeping you in constant alert. You live in what psychologists call chronic low-grade stress, not enough to break you instantly, but enough to keep you exhausted all the time. And this state doesn't just affect the mind. Studies show that long-term mental overload can physically shrink parts of the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory and emotional balance. It's not in your head. It's literally changing your brain's structure. The irony is that the mental load often falls hardest on the people who care the most. Those who remember birthdays, anticipate needs, solve problems before they happen. It's the invisible labor of empathy, emotional responsibility without recognition. And that's what makes it so heavy. Because it's not just about tasks. It's about carrying the emotional weight of keeping everyone and everything together. But the human brain was never meant to hold so many tabs open. It's meant to focus, rest, and reset. And when we stop giving it that chance, our minds begin to blur the line between being responsible and being consumed. The first step to lightening the mental load is to recognize it. Most people don't. They call it stress or busyness or just life. But awareness is powerful. Once you name the weight, you can start deciding which parts are truly yours to carry and which you picked up out of habit or guilt. We live in a culture that glorifies doing it all. Rest is seen as laziness. Asking for help feels like failure, and the people who hold everything together rarely get thanked for it. But the truth is, you can't pour from an empty mind. Carrying everything doesn't make you stronger. It makes you disappear. So how do you begin to let go? You start small. Write down everything that's living rent-free in your head. Tasks, worries, reminders, even feelings. The simple act of transferring them onto paper helps your brain release them. Cognitive offloading, psychologists call it. It tells your mind, it's safe to stop remembering this. I've written it down. Next, learn to share the load. It sounds simple, but for many people, it's radical. Because behind the mental load often lies a quiet belief. If I don't think of it, no one will. That belief keeps you trapped. But connection, real connection, means shared responsibility. It means trusting that others can think, plan, and care too. Another key is rest. Not as an afterthought, but as maintenance. Rest isn't what you earn after doing enough. It's what allows you to keep going at all. Give your brain moments of white space. A walk without your phone. A meal without multitasking. A weekend without guilt. Those aren't luxuries. They're reset buttons. And finally, redefine what it means to be responsible. It's not about holding everything. It's about holding what matters. Some things can wait. Some can be shared. Some were never yours to carry in the first place. When you begin to release that invisible weight, you'll notice something strange. The world doesn't fall apart. You just start to see it more clearly. You remember how to breathe, how to feel, how to be present without pressure. And in that quiet space, you realize the goal was never to carry it all. It was to learn when to let go.